Minty, welcome everybody. This is Destructive Divers Ryan. Doing a little video tonight. I got the Jeep here. Give you a quick little tour. This is the new project. We did a spring over conversion on it so far. That's what we're working on right now, at least. We got a 8.25 rear end from a late model Cherokee with a locker in it. Right now we just got some little tires on it, but did a spring over conversion on it. I got some Mopar spring hangers on the back and welded those on, cut the other ones off and got everything set up and lined up and stuck the springs over top. And for all the people that don't know anything about the Jeeps, they come with on this model here and the older ones, the leaf springs were underneath the differentials. What's up, Roger? So yeah, they come with leaf springs underneath of them. So basically what I'm doing is just putting leaf pads on top of the axles, which this one in the rear, the Cherokee, did come spring over in the rear, but they're a little bit different width. So I cut them off, put Mopar springs on there. Let me get out here, or spring hangers. Going back with the stock spring. We've been doing a little bit of work here and there to it. First thing I did when I got it, other than it was missing a rear end, was these things right here. The bumper came out to about here. Just did a quick trim on them, cleaned it up. It was a banged up bumper. Just trying to bring it back as good as I can to what it used to look like and make it a little bit more fun. You can see it's a little bit bigger than your normal Jeep. There's a stock one back there with 31s, and this one's got little tiny car tires, and you can see the difference in height just from looking down the side compared. You can see there where the door comes up and where the door is on that one. So they look almost identical. This is my wife's Jeep she's had since high school, unnamed. And this one, I used to have a YJ when I got out of high school and was going to OU. I had a little YJ that I got, and became known. Ralph was the name of it, which RALV stood for Recreational All Land Vehicle. So now we got the little Jeep. This one I guess will be Ralph Jr. It's not going to be quite as big, but it's going to be pretty decent size, and I'm probably going to say like 600,000 times a night. So the best thing for me to do is probably put this down, and you can see here, this is Dana 30. I'll start trying to explain what I did to it here in a little bit. This is a big old Jeep. Well, I've heard different reasons, but the original one, you know, back when the CJ2 had 7, but the military MB had a 9 actually, which is weird. This one, lucky it has even less than that. But I like trivia and facts. Hey, there's my wifey. I'm gonna try to do a little bit here, Crazy Kevin Powell in the background, a little bit of my shop back here. We're gonna try to get this going here though, see what we can come up with. I think I got a good place for the camera. Y'all let me know anything. I'm gonna come over here every now and again and check it out. And if Kristen comes out here in a minute, I might have her tell me if somebody hollers or anything. But I'm gonna try to get some work done. Basically, the pads were on the bottom. This front end right here came out of a Cherokee as well. And a lot of parts were made on this YJ for that Cherokee, just because they already had them. They had the Dana 30, they had the 35 rear back then. They had some other parts already. So that's why the YJ kind of got, you know, the frame got built and convenienced into this, and they built it to where it used the old tub from the CJ7. And I don't know. Anyways, this is a Dana 30 from a Cherokee, and the rear end is also from a Cherokee. I just did some work to them to convert them. The front end had all the coil pads on it, and if you know anything about those, they come with a 4-link. You can still see right here, I'll show you before I get going. There's still the ring there, and that's for the 1 link that went up from the control arm setup on it. Seven continents, that's pretty awesome. Well, this one at least will go in this continent. We'll see see if I ever take it anywhere else. Yeah, when it goes to a scrapyard, it'll probably go to a different continent after they take the metal from it one of these years. Hey everybody, we're gonna get ready to put this front end in here. Appreciate y'all joining up. If you can't hear me or anything, try to holler at me here in a minute. I'm gonna try to talk loud enough when I get over here working, but I'm gonna start tinkering here. Hopefully I can get this Dana 30 from this Cherokee up underneath this YJ. Here we go. Steve-O says, woo, woo! I think y'all can see it there. We'll see. I'll get going here and y'all tell me what you see. I'm gonna fire up this little camera here. Cross tour. Picture in picture. All right, we'll record for a minute with that too. I don't know if that'll get me anything either, but great angle. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to get going here. I can lift this thing up under and hold it, but I'm getting old, so I'm gonna use 2 jacks. It should be cut and dry now. And having said that, hopefully my battery will hold up for the next 7 hours. I got used to the sandblaster at work, so I sandblasted all this stuff here and painted everything black again. Something I didn't used to do when I was a kid. I just slap it all together rusty, and now I'm starting to learn. Great place over in Winston-Salem, Auto Springs. If you're ever over there, I got these for $6.50 a piece, brand new U-bolts. Came with a little bit deeper nut, so you're going to get a better grab on it, and brand new washers and everything. So give them a shout if you ever get a chance. They made these on the spot. I sat there and hung out, got these made, so check them out. Jeep also stamped these if you're dummy proof, LH. Hopefully they got it right, left hand. Get that back on here in a minute. I'm hoping, because y'all might laugh at me, I'm hoping I have enough room between the shelf here and where I put that axle in, because it's got the long axle on that side. If not, I might have to move the shelf out. I'm hoping by then I have the front end bolted under it enough to where I can move the front end over if I need to a little bit after that. So we'll see. Alright y'all, we got some Billy Idol playing in the background. Maybe later we'll get some Billy Squire playing. You know I love some Billy Squire. Keep telling all my friends here, hey everybody, keep telling everybody that I want to start a Billy Squire fan club. I haven't seen one yet online, and I'm like the only person that talks about them all the time. So I might be one of like the only 3 fans on earth for Billy Squire. Alright, get that side going. I'm going to put this one over here up. Hopefully, don't want to mess up my dollar Walmart paint here. There's not much to these leaf springs. A lot of people ask me why I keep going back to the old leaves. The reason I do is simplicity. You know, there's a lot of advantages to going control arm. See, talking here. Might have to lower it a little bit. Good thing I'm still not as weak as I used to be. All right. Scoop this front end over a little bit. See, there's a pin here. When you're doing the spring under, I'll look under here. I don't know if y'all can see me. When you're doing the spring under to spring over conversion, the dowel pin that's in here is upside down compared to what you need it to. So you have to clamp these and take that dowel out and get a new one I recommend that if you can. If the used ones are in good shape, you could reuse them, I guess. But it's good if you can to go ahead and get a new one. You can also get them at Auto Springs. They should have them there too. So I'm just sliding this over here, trying to line that dowel up, and then I'll put the jack up here, hopefully to hold it. Come on, lock in there. I'm doing this PG rated too, so I'm not going to say any dirty words here. Well, could be. Alright. Lower this down again. I try not to have this roll off of here. If it'll stay, what I'm going to go do here, I'm going to shut up and do it. Let's put a jack stand under this side. That'll hold the back of the pinion up for me here. Hopefully it don't roll off that jack over there. If it does, you guys can laugh at me. Real slow. There we go. Good there. I'm going to go back that side and make sure that thing's not going to fall off. If you got a friend to help you, it's always good. But if not, you can do it. Just need the 2 floor jacks. Be patient. Nothing that falls is going to hurt. It might make you laugh a little bit, but hopefully you don't get mad. If it's not your garage, maybe you'll put a chip in the concrete so they'll get mad at you, but if not, come on, dowel pen. Someplace. There we go. Get it locked in there. Alright, good. We got that in there. So now we're going to go to the other side real quick. Make sure this is up. Go to the other side, we're going to get that dowel pin in. And then start putting U-bolts on. Alright, here we go. Okay, we're back in with this side. Looks like the other side just slid out a little bit. I think my jack is dying on me. I can watch it dropping as we speak. It'll be alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move that in anyways. That way I can get my U-bolt on because I got a little squirrely when it slid on me. See, there we go. Should give me more room. And if you did everything lining up right, both sides go in real smooth. So both sides are in right now. Let me get this jack to listen to me for a second. Okay, we got that up in. This side was fun. I'll talk about it real quick. These holes on the front end of a Wrangler YJ, they had a 2-piece disconnect right here, and the casting is real big. So one of those U-bolts is a little bit wider than the other one. So because of that, these holes were a little bit wider in here. So my next door neighbor, Chris, came over and helped me out the other night. We welded in the holes and filled them, ground it down, and re-drilled the holes to fit this hopefully. So we'll find out in a minute. But what it does is I can use this. It used to be on the bottom on the other side, like this. Now I can use it over here on top and still maintain my splay bar that's up in here factory without having to go with anything aftermarket. And it's just a quick pop off. You just zip tie it up here. You can probably see mine right there already. And you can use everything factory. And it's because it's OEM, the parts are right there on the shelf at the store. You can get it all. It's easy to work on. I think it's a 3/4 inch nut on the end of it, so you just take the nut loose, you get out to the trail. You usually have tools with you anyways. Pop it off, put a zip tie or two, it's real easy, and boom, you're good. You don't have to worry about losing your pen, the piece flopping around, making a bunch of noise. It's super strong up here, it ain't gonna go anywhere. I've been doing it since 2002, so. Meanwhile, this thing has dropped again. So, that's why I said I'm gonna try to hurry. So I'm gonna put it up here on top. And then I'm gonna grab these U-bolts real quick I showed you a minute ago. And at least get them on there tight enough to where hopefully it'll stay up here, and then I can get a jack or something like that out of the way. Get a jack stand in there, keep it on. So these things will go on either side of the diff there. And you slide up. Oops. Slide up. Now I can see what they're talking about. When you got the lights at you, it's harder to see everything. But I want y'all to be able to see real good. So I'm already blind as it is, but we're going to work through it here for y'all. So I'm just going to put those on with the washers. They got these a little long. They told me we're going to be just a little long, but what I'll do is I'll trim them up. It'll be all good. I'm going to have a bump stop here that I'm going to build custom anyways. So you're just going to tighten those all the way down. Do it the quick way. I'm going to disappear. Hey everybody. Make sure you get these on even. It's the best thing I can tell you, because if you start to get them crooked, you'll have it lopsided on there like that, and it's a big fight trying to get it all squared up again. You're going to have to loosen it and tighten it again, so try to get them hand tight as much as you can. And then once you get them all the way hand tight, then you can start putting torque on them individually and get your stuff around there. Is it filming good?
Yeah.
So we're working on it here. I got that. Alright, so we're working it here. If I can get this other U-bolt on, then this front end will be held enough on this side where we can get it working. I'll bring the camera over here in a second and show it to y'all too, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So everything worked out here. We drilled our holes right. That will go straight through there. Goes on like that. Put my washers on. Looks like we did a good job drilling them out the other night. I feel bad for Chris. He came over here with a brand new set of drills and said they were great, and they were. But because we were welding in it, we had it fused pretty good. It didn't do too good on the new drill bit for him, and I feel bad. So we'll get you another bit, Chris. But in fact, I've got one over here right now for you. But I feel bad. Anytime anybody comes to help and they offer to use anything and then something breaks. So, shut up for a second here just to get that done, but we got that on there pretty good all the way around by hand. Now I can bring you around here with the camera and show it to you. Alright, everything's flush around there, good enough. Need to slide that over maybe. Everything looks good. Alright. What we did here, oh, it's Dave bought a CJ. I love CJs. That was my first Jeep. All right. So we got the U-bolts in here. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can. Got both of them in there, brand new, like I said. We'll trim them if we need to here. But for right now, I'm just happy to have them in there. You can see here where I flip this, you can use this top mount. You can see here now where I was talking about. There's a brace that's in these CJ or these YJs. And you can just zip tie right to that and just hang that thing and then just flip it around and drop it and just slide it right on, put the nut on, and you're good. So when I'm willing, I can keep my stock everything doing that flip like that. It's funny, I haven't trimmed that off yet. The axles, I'm just putting in a stock Dana 30, but it's the one-piece side axle instead of the two-piece out of the YJ. It's a ZJ front end. Or XJ front end, I'm sorry. High pinion 30. I hadn't cut that off yet, and we were joking because I was doing pictures with it and stuff with the clevis hanging off of it. We're not going to pull or anything off of that. It was just kind of an idea to leave it there for now until I felt like trimming the casting when I got bored one day, because there's nothing for it to hit on, and I don't know, I didn't want to put heat on the top of that case anyways if I didn't have to, so why not? But now that side is over there in, I'm going to try to put one over here in and see if I can move this jack or something, maybe underneath the diff, so that I can keep it from hitting that U-bolt when I put it in. Let me get going on that real quick. We'll get this other one in, and then shoot, we're real close to putting back in unit bearing, axle assembly, brakes, and then putting it back on front wheels, and maybe you'll see it as a roller before everything ends up. All right. Here we go. This one didn't have to be modified. Where it flipped from the other side, where it had that one piece, casting is bigger on that one side and it's smaller on that other side automatically. So this was a simple one. As soon as I saw that, I was super happy. Right on top, used to be on the bottom. Boom, drop right down, sway bars right back in place. So super awesome being able to run factory sway bar setup and not having to do anything crazy right now. I mean, there's always options. You can spend as much as you want to spend, but right now I'm happy just having it that way. So see if I can get this up around. I don't remember the brand it was. I went ahead and bought the spring pads. I had metal at work. I was going to try to make them, but where it's offset, where we can weld in here and not have to worry about setting this up on the casting. So if you put it up on the casting, it's a pain to weld on the cast. It always worries me to weld on cast that you're going to get a good bite. And then it's another worry that you're going to, and don't worry, I will take these back off. Right now I'm just testing everything out. Before I set everything back together, I use anti-seize on everything. We got the drop pitman arm right now. I'm just going to use the cheap option to keep the front end going steering wise. I'm going to spend the money here at some point, but right now I just want to get the steering working. Let's see here. All right. Got a little bit of paint on the threads, so I'm just working past that. Going back and working old school pre-all tonight, doing everything with the hand tools. I'm not going to do air tools tonight. Try to keep it quieter. Y'all wouldn't hear me. I don't know that you want to hear me anyways, but saves the ugly digest for a second. Saves me from stripping out threads on parts that I just got done and fixed and redone. So I should have had you on earlier for the brake lines, putting them on, but I don't know that you wouldn't want to hurt me. I was having some fun with them. As always, you run into some kind of project, and that was the one where it was super duper fun. Having a blast. But you know what? They're done. Here they are. I put the stainless steel extended brake lines on it. We're down all the way. This thing isn't pushed up at all. I still got room for droop because they're going to be up in here. So plenty of brake line. So I've got them on earlier. All I have to do is put the clamp on when I get it done here. But I wanted to make sure it was spun right before I clipped it in place here. Started trying to learn my lesson about getting ahead of myself on them. Anything like that. It seems like every time I get ahead of myself trying to beat something, I end up kicking my own butt later. So I got that now. What I'm going to try to do here is just hold this for a second, put the jack underneath here if I can, and that way I can get that second U-bolt on. I'm real close right here. I'm sure I could do it, but I think I can just drop it real quick here. Put this over here. Bolt just came flying off my jack, and then I don't know where it came from. Alright, so we got that held back in. Should be able to get this other one on. Hopefully I didn't tighten that one enough. Or I can't. Also, I gotta see where that bolt came from. Doesn't make any sense it did right there. Anyways, if y'all seen where that bolt flew off of on my jack, Maybe it came from under here.
Under your leg.
What?
Under your leg.
I picked it up. Put my glove already too. So that's on my left. Anyways, phone problems you run into. I always have bird hands too. So slide this one up in here. Should just go straight up in. And everything works right, and you save your prayers, and eat your vitamins, and the stars all aligned. And sometimes Jeeps like you, and that's why I try to name them early. Everybody asks me why I name my Jeep. It feels good to have a personality on something that you're gonna have to like love, adore, and constantly beat. So I don't know. Trying to enjoy it as much as I can. Every time I get frustrated, I'm like, oh, I'm having fun. It's my hobby. So we're doing all right there. Everything's lined up straight here so far. Drop in the back there on either side where I need to. Just clamp them down in. But other than that, I'll trim these up later, grind them down, and it works good. Hard wrenching is just wrenching, you know? Put on a good song and start to detail get deep enough on these things. And I think I got one of those ones that had the hole of this too. Try not to knock off my work fitting, wouldn't that be fun? Anything I can do like that for you guys to make y'all laugh tonight would be good, so. Alright, we're gonna tighten these down where it kind of feels like, that's good. That's good. Maybe both sides and I'll do that. The older you guys get, when you get into this stuff, you have this torque in your arm. And it's usually where your rotator cuff and your elbow joints and your wrist and all that stuff. You're about shot from doing this all these years. So you can feel them click and move, and it's like torque settings, you know. You're like, that's 25 pounds, that's 50, that's 75 pounds, and like I know 150 because that's starting to get to where I feel like things are breaking on me by the time I get it there. And 200 pounds, I'm using my leg by then. By golly. These things, I'm getting them pretty tight. I'm not going to put max torque on them or anything. I just want to get them snug enough so I can make sure everything looks straight under here. Put it on wheels without having to worry about it falling apart here. And I'm not going to stretch my bolts yet or anything. Trying to get them too short. I'm just using 3-inch drive right now. Alright, that should be good enough for me to mess around and see what I got going on here. Everything feels good over here. Still got to do some work here with the U-joint, drive shaft, and jazz. The drive shaft's maxed out right now on the slide, so I got to get some added to it. I got to try to figure out what I got to do. I'm real close to hitting it on the skid plate, and usually a lot of times with spring overs you end up notching them. So when I notch it, I'm probably going to have to reinforce it too. So if I take a beating right where it's notched, it doesn't just cave in and rub your drive shaft. We'll get that figured out. There's a lot of little odds and ends. Going to spring over, everything seems easier, but if you don't have imagination and you're not willing to build parts, you run into problems because you're not going to find all the parts. And there was a fad of these that hit back in the late 90s, early 2000s. People were doing them. As soon as the TJs and other, newer Jeeps came out, a lot of stuff was on the internet and then disappeared. When photo bucket changed and all that, it dumped a lot of things. So it's hard to find a lot of information about these anymore. So it's still good to mess around with them and enjoy it, but it's fun to know all the stuff from back pre-internet so that it all comes back and kind of works again. You can get this other side kind of tight, and then we're about ready to slide in unit bearings, axles, jazz, the whole assembly, your axle assembly on either side. Usually recommend if anybody's running anything, especially off-road, try to use Spicer U-joints. Spicer products are really awesome. Never had a lot of problems with them. There's other U-joints you can run. I think Federal Mobil's still out there. There's other ones out there, and not to cut on them or anything, but get a lot of stupid stuff on Spicer U-joints, and Usually if something happened and I'm tearing it up, it's because I was a fool and I deserve to tear it up probably. I've never really had too many things break before I thought they shouldn't have. I was bouncing, I was doing something stupid, I was running too big a tire on too small a U-joint, something. You know, it's one of them things. Hopefully I learned my lesson anymore. This one is not ever built by any means. If you know anything about a Dana 30, it's vulnerable. It's got weaknesses. It's got a 27 spline axles. I got rid of one of the vulnerabilities, the two-piece setup there. It's more weakness because you got another casting that's in there, more plug welds. So got rid of that at least. You don't have to worry about the faulty problems of the vacuum lines. These things have vacuum disconnects. All that's gone by going with the one-piece axle on this side. There's other advantages from that. If you go with the late model, like 97 and up, front axles, or like a TJ front axle, you can get TJ front axles. I think they have a 760 U-joint in them. The old ones had a 260. So the axle I have over here in the corner, the one that came off this one originally, had a 260 U-joint. Just a little bit smaller. It's not a huge difference, but I mean, any extra little meat you can get on your U-joints is less chance of them snapping. When you put it in a bind, you get in a hop, you start hopping these things, the tire starts to grip and grab, something twists, and there she goes. So everything's tight. We're flush up against here. Everything looks smooth and square. I did all this out by eyeball, so hopefully it's going to work. My dry shaft angle all the way at sag right now is just a little bit below perfect up towards the dry shaft. But you do get just a slight bit of axle wrap. I'm not going to go with any kind of bars or anything on the front for this probably. She's going to go send it the way she is. So I'll get a little bit of up twist when she's going, and it should match up good. I won't get over binding or anything like that. It should be, on what I'm looking at, pretty right. I don't think I have any vibrations. I'm happy with the way it looks so far. It's square. Now we've got the axle shaft that's now, or the axle housing. Couldn't spit it out there. It's underneath the springs. They used to be here, so we gained a 2.5 inch axle tube, about 1 inch below that and 1 inch above it. So we gained over 4.5 inches of lift. It was right at 5 is what we're looking at right here. In the rear, we're looking at about 5 1/4. I think is what it'll end up being with everything, because it's a 3 inch axle tube in the back. So you gain a little bit of size. And we're 2 3/4. Not sure. It's 8.25. Somebody can correct me. I think it's a 3 inch tube. Anyways, everything's good there. We should be able to drop, well, this one dropped itself already, but should be able to drop this side down. And if you see it, ta-da! Alright, let's go get tests. Hey, what's up? Get out of the shadows. You can see the U-bolts are all tight on that side. Everything looks good. Go around to this side. Everything is tight and good. All right, everything lines up. We're straight and ready. So next is gonna go the unit bearings, axle shafts. I'll go get them in a second. Get a chance to check those out. Start putting them in. I have to do a little bit of wire wheeling here, so I might hop offline and get that done. Basically where I painted that, I just want to go inside where the unit bearings mount up right here and just wire wheel a little bit. I'm going to put some antices in there and then put them in there. And the reason is because they're going to go in semi-permanent here, and I don't plan on taking them back out for a while. And if I do, I want them to come out smooth. So I'm going to hop off here for just a second, get that going, and then I'll probably come back on here. I'm not sure what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Get a chance to check it out for me there. 6:58. Okay, I'll try to come back on about 7:30 and give you all an update if you want to check it out. So thank you very much for tuning in, and talk to you in a little bit.